right, so we have this incredible system behind us that we want to tell you a little bit more about. Charlie, do you like reel-to-reel tape? Look, it's early in the morning. We were out right? Yeah. We were out late last night drinking whiskey. We love whiskey, but we want to show you this system. All right, so I want to start over here with this reel-to-reel, the Akai 747 DBX. So it's the black version. It has a faceplate that like kind of comes down, which is really cool. It has all the controls and stuff on there, but that is not the coolest part about this. And it is a very good reel-to-reel, like early 80s. But there's something special that we have, and I've only seen one other variation of this. Like, this is very rare. Because, okay, it has a remote, and you're thinking, well, a lot of reel-to-reels have a remote, but this remote is missing something.
What's that?
The cord. Yeah. Because it's a wireless remote.
Yes, yes.
See where I went there? So, where the transmitter is wired into the back of the reel-to-reel, you want to use it? You want to try it? Have you tried it yet?
I haven't, no.
Oh, yeah. So, you can actually, just from your seat, gonna hit play, which is the bam. All right, so like you can just control your reel-to-reel from wherever you are. And the crazy thing is like, you good?
It's very sensitive.
The button?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's good though.
A lot of those controls have wires that you have to like put over to wherever. And a lot of times the cords are 8 feet, 10 feet, whatever it is. But like wireless, and I don't know how far it goes. Like one time, I have a story on this. So one time I had an Akai reel-to-reel. I found a brand new remote in the box. Took it out. Like I put the batteries in. When I put the batteries in, it did like the plastic snap for the first time. And you could feel it. It was crazy. But we decided to test how far it went. We started close. We went all the way to the back of the building and it still worked. And like it might be like 40 feet, 50 feet, something like that. Then I decided to go outside. Went to the sidewalk, hit play, ran out in the middle of the street, and I actually went across the street and it still worked. So like, I don't know what the range of that one is, but like typically these have really good range for whatever mechanics they're built into.
I know that's very sought after. I haven't seen one of these. It's been very impressive, especially with the remote. I mean, that's the first time I've seen a wireless remote on an old school tape player like that.
As far as Akai's, this is the one. Okay, there's different versions. There's silver version. And there's a couple other ones that are very much like this, but this tends to be the one that everybody wants. Going on to the next piece, this is one that I've never seen. This is the Sony PS8750 turntable. It has like this giant strobe light over there. I'm guessing this is their top of the line turntable because I've never seen one better than this one.
Yeah, no, I mean this is like one of the more impressive Sony vintage turntables I've ever seen.
It's a direct drive, fully automatic, has a start-stop.
Oh.
Yeah, like it's real nice, and I just love the glow of the strobe. Like this thing's in pristine condition. A lot of the Sonys, from that era, they made some nice turntables. They made some finicky turntables. Finicky turntables, finicky reel-to-reels like over time. This one just beautiful, operates really well. I've had some big Sony collections over time. I had, one time I had a collection of almost everything from this series back in like the mid 70s. It's kind of a niche collection that not everybody collects. It's a more unique look, but the people that do have a lot of it, so it's pretty cool. I would love to find the collection that I had. The guy was in PA somewhere, and I would love if somebody knows him to put me in contact with him because I'd love to get back in contact. It's been a while, so if you know, or if you have a collection, let us know. We'll be at your house.
It is a gorgeous looking turntable, I will say. It's very clean and just sitting on top of the stack. It looks great.
And then underneath, you can kind of see, but the C26 from McIntosh, it has the blue lights. So this is like probably the first time I've seen this color lights in McIntosh. Usually it's green, or it has maybe it's bright green or incandescent green. But this blue actually looks really good. What do you think about the blue?
Well, it's the VU meter blue, right?
It is.
They just put on the lettering. I mean, yeah, it looks great. It really didn't actually, when I first saw it, it didn't stand out as like, oh, this is different. I thought it blended right into what I'd expect from McIntosh. Yeah.
It does give you that feeling. Like it's not obnoxious.
No, not at all.
I do like that. And we'll talk about the tweeter when we get back to the speakers. But let's go to the center because there's some really cool stuff all the way up and down. We'll start at the top. You seem excited about this.
Yeah, those are great. We love those.
Anything else? Is that it? We just love them.
I mean, visually, they're kind of fun.
So you can adjust the reverb, and it kind of fades it. You come back in with less reverb. I don't know if when it's all the way up, it's totally off or anything, but you go back. Like, that's just a cool piece. Very good looking. These are nice because you can find them. They're not super expensive.
Yeah.
They can be if, like, this one's in really good shape, but, like, you can get a nice reverb, and add it to your system, and it really helps the look overall. So this is something I would recommend if you want to make your system look like just cooler, more vintage, like even if you never use it.
Add some space to the sound,
Yeah, if
Tails.
you use it. Yeah. But if you never use it, it just looks cool. Because I would never use it. I mean, I don't know, would you use it?
I probably would, just a little bit though, just a little. Certain tracks.
Depending on the recording.
If it was a full loud like rock song that's like right in your face, maybe not. But if it was like a jazzy, something that's like very vocal, long reverb tails, that can kind of help accentuate that.
Yeah. Now, this cassette deck, the 5220 from Marantz, is very sought after.
Yeah.
People really like this cassette deck. And this one's it's also very difficult to find one that's in real good working condition because it takes a lot to fix these over time. And if you find one that's just as is, it's going to need some fixing. It has the 2 big VU meters, which is why it's so popular. Right, so just incredibly looking, incredible looking. It's early, lots of whiskey. You hit the eject button, it opens up the door, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And then you close it with the button. I don't know how I remember that. It's been a while since I've seen one, but
it's like riding a bike.
It's like riding a bike. You just kind of, Underneath it, we got the Marantz 2252. So if you're unfamiliar with how the Marantz model numbers work, the first number represents how many channels, right? So if it's a 2000, it's a 2 channel. If it's a 4000, it's a 4 channel, right? The last 3 numbers is the wattage. So imagine the 2 is a 0, right?
Yeah.
So 22, that second 2 doesn't mean anything yet. The 52 watts. Now, if it said 23, that 3 equals 100. So that's kind of how they do that. So 23, 25, 125 watts. A lot of the Bs, and when you get into the 2s and stuff like that, sometimes it's a watt or 2 off. When it ends in a 0, it's always pretty much exact. It can vary a little bit. There's several examples and builds of the front of the Marantzes. What do you think of this one?
Once you get to that level of power with the Marantz, they're very nice. I mean, you get a cleaner sound with the actual kind of warmer, buttery sound signature of the Marantz. So I'm a big fan.
What about the look? So there's different looks, right? So you have the early version champagne faces where they actually etched in the logo. Okay, you don't see those too often.
Sure.
You have the full silver versions. Then you have the black with the silver bottom, and you have the black version. So this, I actually like where it's got the silver plate at the bottom.
Yeah,
I think that one's pretty nice. It really kind of emphasizes the look. So that is a sick looking stack, actually.
It is.
Going down, we got the Kyrocera CD player.
Yeah.
Which is the DA710CX. So what's really cool about this one is all these lights over here for the tracks light up, which is wild.
Yeah.
So
it reads the CD and it will light up the correct numbers for how many tracks are on that disc. Then you can just select them individually.
And that's a cool function.
Really
Underneath,
pops.
you have an AR turntable. These are very, very basic. I have seen these. I haven't really used them.
Yeah.
But they're extremely, basic original turntables from AR. That one's in very nice shape. A lot of times they're not in good shape. This is probably the most famous cassette deck out there, period. Right? So you got the Nakamichi Dragon.
Yeah.
You know a little bit about this?
Not a huge tape head myself yet. But, I mean, the Dragon is it's the Dragon. It's the one everybody wants. It goes for a lot. It sounds amazing. It goes past my own expectations for how cassettes can sound. They're very impressive. They're incredible.
Has good lights, has the meters, which is amazing. So, in naming it the Dragon, all the buttons on the front look like scales of a dragon.
Oh.
Did I just blow your mind?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So it's all like scales of the dragon. So what's interesting is like this had a remote. You could get a remote for it.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of things, you know, they're hard to find and whatnot, but this is a really cool piece. Very expensive to work on and align correctly. There's not many machines. Actually, I think there's only like one out there. But it's, you know, even if you don't get that done, it's just an amazing piece. It's a showpiece.
Yeah.
It's a Dragon. It's not like the new Dragon. You know?
It's the new Dragon.
It's a soundbar. What do you think the new Dragon
is that? That's sad.
Yeah. So, but they not only had a Dragon cassette deck, they had a Dragon turntable, which was wild. They had a Dragon CD player, right? So a whole collection, really cool. Underneath, you got the Sansui AU777. What's really nice is the knobs on these things are really, really nice. The way they machine the knobs just feels so good, like just heavy duty. It's a great sounding amp. And it's when Sansui, they were the first people to really get into the all black faceplates.
Yeah. Which I really like. They look gorgeous that way, for sure.
And they tied the silver in, which was cool. But before anybody else was doing that, before this is not like in the 80s where the quality went down, you know, this is when things were really made well. They were doing the black faceplates. The whole set, this whole series is just amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about amazing. What we have here,
I know.
You have to get down even lower. So this is the McIntosh MC 2205.
Yeah.
So you have like the 21 series, there's a 2105, and then you go up to the 2205, and it's just bigger. Like different front design too. So this has like the bevel around the meters where a lot of the others, you know, they don't have that. It has the nice LEDs in there, so it glows really well. But even looking, you know, you can get a case for this, make it real heavy, real big, but just having it open like this is really cool to look at the top.
Yeah. I am a fan of the exposed, I mean, not totally exposed, but the electronics, the caps, transformers, heat sinks.
Yeah, and they still have like each section is still covered.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
They cover all that, but you see the caps. You see the heat sinks, you see the boards back there. You know, it's a really nice piece, and it's on stands, which is interesting. That stand that's on, I kind of like it's alive. Now, there's a lot of reel-to-reels out there, Tom.
Yeah.
And Pioneer makes a lot of them. They make the Fluoroscan, the RT909, also a 901. And right here we have the 707. They also make a 701. You know the difference.
No, I don't.
So the difference, this is 707, first of all. RT707 has the analog meters.
Yeah.
Which I love. Absolutely love it. The 909, 901, they have the floor scan. Looks really cool, but I love the analog meters. The difference between the 707 and the 701 is the auto reverse.
Okay.
Okay, so the 701 does not have the auto reverse.
Sure.
This one does have the auto reverse. So the direction, you can go backwards, forwards on there. 701 doesn't have that feature. So you can't just let it just constantly play all day.
Yeah, it'll just keep spinning.
So, and a lot of people, I don't know that the 701 is not as popular, right? But like if you just want something like this in your system, going with the 701 is fine, you know? So, do you like roto-reel tape?
I
Is
like
this new to you?
it has to be done well, because it can get a little. The tape has to be in really good shape, and it has to be on a good player, else you lose a little clarity. But when it's done right, the actual, I mean, and this is tape in general, it's just more kind of highlighted on this level. The punch is just very different. It's a slower, smoother punch. So,
Do you like roto-reel tape?
Nostalgic.
Charlie, do you like roto-reel tape? I guess not. But, you know, not everybody does. And that's okay. Because you know, even if you don't, they still look cool in the collection. RT707 is great. Now, the speakers we have, the Yamaha NS1000s, which are some of the most popular speakers ever. Very well known. They're heavy as anything. Like, these are solid speakers. It's crazy. Have you heard these?
I have not actually heard or seen these in person.
Before.
Correct.
Today.
Yes. Well, I have now.
So, really good speakers. Highly collectible, especially to find them in really good shape, because a lot of times DJs were using these.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I've seen it in the pro world all the time.
Have more of the, you know, that kind of blends over into the pro. So you have like a Techniques SL1200, you know, MK2, and then you have these, and you have some kind of amp or whatever. And they get just banged up. But these are in really good shape. So, go ahead.
I mean, if we're staying on this speaker, there is kind of a, I don't know if you want to walk over and see the other one.
Okay.
The other one, aesthetically, is a little more banged up. That's because David here, I don't know if David has...
We're at David's house.
Yeah. David has 2 sets of these, and he has actually mixed them together because he feels that these 2 sound the best, but they're from different sets. One of those sets being more banged up than the other. So this one's a little bit more banged up than that one. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, hey, yeah, I'm sure there are stories, right? So there's stories behind stuff like this. Like we were at a place not yesterday, day before, I don't know. We traveled. And they had a Pioneer tuner.
Okay.
And there was a story where they were having a party one night. The cops got called. Things got really out of hand. And somehow it went off, bang, and the bullet came went through the floor, came down through the ceiling and hit the Pioneer tuner, broke the glass, dented the faceplate. And what was crazy, he's telling us this story, and I'm like, I don't see anything. I'm like, it'd be really cool to see something, you know? And he's like, hey, it's around, the faceplate's around somewhere. Well, later in the day, we found the faceplate, and it's got like the glass right where he said the bullet went down. It was wild. So it's always cool, like when someone has a story. And there's probably some story behind that. Just like I have marks on my dashboard of my car, just like you were saying the other day, you had those monoacoustic speakers that just kind of crash down on you.
Yeah.
From like hauling stereo equipment for so long, I had big giant gashes in my dash.
Yeah.
And those exact stories. One time I was taking a spec series home, and everything was sitting there, and like to cram it in my car, I had to like throw it down, and then every time I drove, it was like digging into the front of the car. What do you think of Cornwalls?
I love the Cornwalls. They're classic. I mean, these are the ones.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we've done the 4s for a long time, but even going back to the originals, I mean, the DNA, the sound of them, it really holds up. Just very clear, very natural, very well balanced. And
we even added these Radio Shack Super Tweeters up here.
Yeah.
Or tweeters, I don't even know.
Super tweeters.
Super tweeters. Okay, see? I kind of still know what I'm doing. I don't know. A little rusty. But I think this set in whole, like this is an amazing, and the artwork on the walls, you know, some really good artwork up there, and it all kind of puts the room together. And a system like this just looks incredible. So,
yeah.
You know, I love touring. We tour around the country kind of doing this, and we have fun with this. So if you know anybody who has a big collection, kind of gotten into looking that stuff up, let us know. Maybe we'll come see you. Should we?
In most cases.
Maybe. All right, see you guys next time.